Reading Srimad Bhagavatam 4:28-13. Yavano parudhayatano kristhayam kalakanyaya uryam prajvar samsristaha purabhalon vatapyatam. Yavana, but the Yavanas, Uparuddha, attacked Ayatanaha, his abode, Kristayam, when seized, Kalakanyaya, the daughter of time, Purvam, the city, Prajvara Samsristaha, been approached by Prajvara, Purapalaha, the city superintendent, Anvatapyata, became also very much aggrieved. Translation: the city superintendent of police, the serpent, saw that the citizens were being attacked by Kalakanya, and he became very aggrieved to see his own residence set ablaze after being attacked by the Yavanas. Please respond. The city superintendent of police, the serpent, saw that the citizens were being attacked by Kalakanya, and he became very aggrieved to see his own residence set ablaze after being attacked by the Yavanas. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The living entity is covered by two different types of body, the gross body and the subtle body. At that we can see that the gross body is finished, but actually the living entity is carried by the subtle body to another gross body. The so-called scientists of the modern age cannot see how the subtle body is working and carrying the soul from one body to another. This subtle body has been figuratively described as a serpent or the city's police superintendent. When there is fire everywhere, the police superintendent cannot escape either. When there is security and an absence of fire in the city, the police superintendent can impose his authority upon the citizen. But when there is an all-out attack on the city, he is rendered useless. As the live air was ready to leave the gross body, the subtle body also began to experience pain. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnanam Gna Shlakaya Chakshuzan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamam Didati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Shadvitam Shavadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganandita Shri Vishagan Vitam Cham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Kopisha Kopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shavanu Shuta Devi Pranamami Hare Pri Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namarom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाशरि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So here Prabhupada is giving the purport. The body is finished, as we read yesterday. Yesterday we gave a very detailed explanation about how that is going to take place. Yes? How many of you heard the class yesterday? Heard the class? Huh? I think it was very detailed explanation, wasn't it? I don't know how much more detail we can go after that. So today you see how the living entity, it has got two bodies. What are the two bodies? Huh? Go what? Gross and subtle. Where is it stated is gross and subtle? Where is it stated? Where? Where is it stated is gross and subtle? It is stated here. Huh? Oh, it's stated here. Where in the Bhagavad Gita it is stated there are two different kind of bodies. Come on, every time I am doing the work now. Today, tell me where? Huh? What? You got to speak a little louder. I am growing old. Huh? Separate truth. You got to speak out because I am deaf. I cannot hear very well. Chapter 2. Where in chapter 2? Where in chapter 2? Huh? What verse? Huh? I don't think it is in chapter 2. I don't know which Bhagavad Gita is that one. It is definitely not in chapter 2. Where is, hey, hello? Where is it stated? Come on. Don't, it's not there, Prabhu. It is there or not there? No, Prabhu, chapter 2 is not there, then is not there at all. Yes? Where is it stated? There is gross body and subtle body. Don't know. Put up the hand. Prabhu, I don't know. At least don't waste my time. No, I don't know, Prabhu. Tell me. Finish. You're looking at your, I don't know where you're looking, what you're looking. You're studying the Bhagavad Gita now, is it? 9th chapter. 15. 15th chapter, text 9. Okay, but not quite right. Yeah, it is right, but not quite right. It is stated here. Please take note. Please take note. Next time you should know this. Bhumi apo analo vayu. Kam mano buddhi evacha ahankariti yamme benam prakirti astada. You understand this words? Hello? Understand? Try to remember. Okay. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. All together these 8 constitute my separated material energies. So out of these 8, earth, water, fire, air, ether are 5 gross elements that you can perceive. Understand? Are you clear? And the mind, intelligence and false ego, all together these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Are you following? That means the 3, mind, intelligence and false ego are subtle body that you cannot see. You understand? So this together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Understand? We are going immediately to chapter 15. Is it chapter 7? Correct? Understand? So here in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining there's 2 bodies in the material body. You follow? So the soul has been caught by this subtle and gross body. It is imprisoned inside this body. You follow? So now the body is going to be useless. The gross body is going to, subtle body, how to get the subtle body useless? When the gross body fails, then the subtle body also has considered useless. Correct? When the gross body is not there and the subtle body is only there, then the person exists in the ethereal platform or in the ghostly platform. You understand? When the person doesn't have a gross body, he exists in the ghostly platform with the help of the subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego. They are the 2 different. So when a person is a ghost, he only got the subtle body. But when he is human, then he got subtle and gross. You follow? Or what's wrong in being in the ghostly body? Nice, no? This is explained here. Man in the mode of goodness worship the demigod, those in the mode of passion worship the demon, those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. So there is such thing as ghosts and spirits. So when you worship God in the mode of ignorance, it is explained here. No. Thing is, sorry. And this verse, no, sorry, 25, huh? Here in this verse, Yanti Deva Vrita Devan, Pitran Yanti Pitran Vritaha, Bhutani Yanti Bhutejyaha, Yanti Mat Yagyanopi Mam. So there's a separation. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirit will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So the four categories are here. In the mode of goodness, those who worship the demigods, they will become demigods. Those who in the mode of passion worship the forefathers, they will become Pitra. And those who in the mode of ignorance worship this ghost and spirit, they become. But those who worship me, Krishna says they live in my abode. So there is a difference. There is four categories: goodness, passion and ignorance, and transcendental. So now we are understanding that if I do this kind of worship and stay there in that kind of mode, I will go to that particular, yes, kind of a body. So in other words, I am going to change my body. Now, today, Puranjan's body is finished. He is now going to change body. Understand? So we are going to study this thing, case study. He is actually, of course later on you will see how he gets overly attached to his thinking of his wife, and he takes the body of a woman. So today, now he is going to change. So in other words, many people think that this body when you die is finished. Nothing else is finished. They have this philosophy. He should not put his leg under the deity there, no. Ask him to play that side. Showing the leg to the deity is not so good. Yeah, that would be better. So, the change, how does it come about? The change. The soul cannot be destroyed. The soul cannot be. The soul is permanently, is eternal. The soul is. The soul cannot be burned, cannot be dried, cannot be what? What is that? 23. Nainam chindanti sastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chaivam kledayanti apo, na sosyati maruttaha. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So that you cannot be destroyed. The soul cannot be, because the soul is part and parcel of God. Yes? The soul is part and parcel of what? You look very, you're not sure? You're not sure you're part and parcel of God? You're surprised. The way the expression seems to be very bewildering to me. Where is it stated you are part and parcel of God? Jai Sri Radha. Very good. Hmm? So here Krishna says, Mamai Angsa. Mamai means who? My Angsa. Angsa means what? Huh? Part. Angsa means part. Jivaloke Jivabhuta Sanatanaha. Jivabhuta Sanatanaha. Manaha Sastrendriyani Prakrtistani Karshuti. The living entity in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental part. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. In other words, the living entity is not anything else but of God. The living entity is what? Actually, minute God. You understand? We are all minute God. You follow? So being minute in quality, not in quantity, qualitative wise, we are equal to God. So because we are part and parcel of God, we cannot die. That's why yesterday I showed that verse, no? Sukadev Goswami said, don't worry, you are not going to die. You will never die. I showed that verse, right? What is that verse? 12.5? 12.5 what? Huh? No, 12.5. I showed yesterday, no? 12.5. What? Tvam tu rajan marishyeti pasu buddhim imam jahi na jata prak adbhutodya dehavat tvam na nanshasi. O king, give up this animalistic mentality of thinking that I am going to die. This is a very important verse in the Bhagavatam. We never know this verse, correct? In other words, if you think you are going to die, you are no better than an animal. You understand? Because animals think they are going to die. Yes or no? Animals are fearful of death, correct? That's why it says the words here, pasu. You see the Sanskrit thing? Pasu buddhin. Animal mentality, animal consciousness, animal intelligence. Correct? In other words, if you think you are going to die, you are no better than an animal. You follow? See how nicely put. Tvam tu rajan marishyati pasubuddhimimam jahi na jataha prak adbhutodya dehavatvam na nanshyasi. So give up this consciousness, this animalistic mentality of thinking, I am going to die. Unlike the body, you have not taken birth. There is no time, there was not a time in the past when you did not exist, no you, no, and you are not about to be destroyed. Because you are soul, Mamai Angsa. God cannot die, you cannot die. Your body will die. You understand? So if you can understand this, that means you are not an animal. See, how many people today understand that they are not the body? Huh? How many? Everyone is thinking, no, when you die, everything finishes. Now when we die, we will know. What? Now you don't. When you die, you will know. How is it possible? Then better you die now, then you will know. That makes sense. This is a foolish philosophy. You understand? This is the foolish philosophy. I just explained here also the same point. The living entity in the material world carries its different conception of life from one body to another as the air carries aroma. Thus it takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. We explain Krishna is giving this explanation. Just like the smell, some smell is coming now, no? Correct? Let's say the smell of a rose flower, right? So the rose's flower is far away and you are far away. Yes? But by the smell, you can understand about the rose. See? So the same way the life of one body to the air carries aroma. So like that, the soul is going. Very subtly, just like the smell is coming, so the soul is going also. You cannot see. See? So this is how he leaves one body and he takes another body. So Krishna is giving this example, how he changes. Then here further he explains, the living entity thus taking another body, gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eyes, tongue, nose, sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So according to this thinking, this again is very important point. According to his thinking, he is taking another. You understand? This is exactly what's happening with Puranjan case. He is already putting his mind thinking of his wife. Oh, such a dear woman, she was so kind, she's so chaste, whole mind was going on that direction. So because it's grouped on the mind, he's going to get a certain kind of eyes, ears and all with the feature of a woman. You understand? Now you see, very important, the next verse. It's a very, very important verse, this verse. Utkramantam sitam vapi bonjanam va gunanvitam vimuda. You see the word? Vimuda na anupashyanti. Vimuda na anupashyanti. Pashyanti jnana chakshusaha. Very important word. Vimuda na anupashyanti. Pashyanti jnana chakshusaha. See how Krishna is explaining. Foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. You understand? Actually, the fact, before we came to Prabhupada, I forget, maybe you know, I don't know. But I don't know what was going on. I only know I have to eat, I have to sleep and pass through. That's it. That thing I know. Yes? Right? You see how science. See, everything is grouped into the mind. Understand? How is going to leave the body? This point is also explained here. Sorry, we will go here first, then we will go there. Krishna explained this also here. I'm sure you know this verse. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalaivaram ya priyati sadmad bhavam yati nasti atra samsaya. This verse I'm sure you know, right? Don't know. You know? What is this verse? Huh? No, this verse is specifically, if you think of Krishna, you go back to Krishna. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So Krishna is first putting this point. If you think of me, you come back to me. Now, he says in the next verse, Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tejayante kalaivaram tam tam evaiti kauntaya sadathat bhava bhavita. He says here, whatever stage being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that stage you will attain without fail. Now we are thinking about this now. It all grouped about the mind. Yes? According to the grouping of the mind, he gets certain kind of ears, legs and tail and everything. Yes? So here, Krishna is saying, whatever you remember at the stage of your quitting the body, you will attain that stage. Understand? This is confirmed here. Yatra yatra mano dehi dharayat sakalam diya sneha dveshe bayat vapi yati tat tat swarupam patam. If out of love, hate or fear, an embodied soul fixes mind with intelligence and complete concentration upon a particular bodily form, he will certainly attain the form that is meditating upon. Out of love, out of hate, out of fear. So in other words, the mind will fix on something out of these three contexts. Out of love, who? His wife, correct? Out of hate, some enemy he doesn't like. Right? Or out of fear, somebody is frightening. See? You follow? This is how the mind is grouping. Just now we say the grouping, right? So this is how the grouping works, with the love, with the hate, enemy, hating, and with fear.
The grass worm example, right?
Huh?
The grass worm example.
Yeah, no, I'm going to it. See, now example is given. Example is given here. Kita pesha kritam dhyayam kutyam tena pravishyetah yati tat satamatam rajan puva rupam asantya yajan. O king, once a was is a very big bee. You know was? Have you seen? Very stings are more painful than the bee, correct? Yeah? Force the weaker insect to, and it usually has a hive made of sand, Have you seen the wasp house? It's made of what? Some sand, dry sand. Have you seen that? So once a wasp forced the weaker insect to enter his hive and kept him trapped there. In great fear, the weak insect constantly meditated upon his captor, and without, again, note this, and without giving up his body, he gradually achieved the same stage of existence as the wasp. Thus, one achieves a state of existence according to one's constant concentration. So the example is given here. Yeah? What? What? You understand? You may think, how can this, insects change body like that? Is it possible? Possible? Huh? What? Can or cannot? Those who are in the farming industry, those farmers, they will know this is a fact. Okay, here again, the same point has been explained this time by Narada Muni. The same point is explained here. Therefore, by enmity or by devotional service or by fear, by affection or by lusty desire, by all this or any one of them, if a conditioned soul, however, somehow or other concentrate his mind upon the Lord, the result is the same. For the Lord, because of his blissful position, is never affected by enmity or friendship. But the same thing transferred to the Lord by fear, by love, then it is another story again. Because anyway you go to the Lord, you get purified. So the example is given here. Narada Muni is giving this example. Narada Muni continued, by devotional service one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity towards Him. This is my opinion. In other words, if you want to achieve something, real concentration, unless you hate somebody, you will not be thinking of him day and night. This is the opinion of Narada Muni. Understand? That's why here he says here, he gave the example again. Kita peshakrita ruttaha kudyayam tam anusmaran samramba bhaya yogena vindati tat swarupatam. Same, I think it's about the same words, I think. Well, this word, vindati tat swarupatam, A glass worm confined in a hole of a wall by a bee. Actually bee here, Prabhupada put bee, but actually it's a wasp, same. Bee, don't trap her, but Prabhupada explained bee. Always think of the bee in fear and enmity, and later became a bee simply because of such remembrance. Similarly, if a conditioned soul some or other think of Krishna, who is Satchidananda Vigraha, they will become free from their sin. Whether thinking of him as their worshipable Lord or enemy, because of constant thinking of him, they will regain their spiritual body. So the example is given here. One example of the bee, was constantly the other insect is thinking of that, it became a was. Constantly thinking, power of the mind, because of fear. Because of fear, is so worried. Wow, day and night is nothing but thinking of it transformed. So the example is given here. If the same way we can think of the Lord, either in friendship, or is it explained here? Either is what? What? Either you think of the Lord in enmity or in devotional service, or by fear, or by affection, or by lusty desire. Any way you think. Who was thinking of the Lord as an enemy? Sisupala. Who was doing devotional service? The residents of Dwaraka. Who were by fear? Kamsa. By affection? The devotees in Dwaraka also. And who by lusty desire? The gopis. So any way you will think of the Lord, you are fortunate. But now Puranjan, he mistaken. He could not think of the Lord in any of the. He was transferring it this kind of, because the mind, as we just now heard, it is grouped around these three things: love, fear, and hate. The mind acts on this principle. What?
Love,
Fear and hate. Ichche divise samutena sammoham bharata. Loving, it's desiring and hate. So this is the grouping of the mind. So if you don't transfer this grouping towards Krishna, then it's going to be very detrimental. The consequence will be, you will be grouping your mind according to material activities, and that will come naturally, like here in this case Puranjan, he was very much attracted to his wife. You understand? He was very much attracted to his wife. Understand? So we just saw the example of the glowworm. The glowworm and the insect, correct? Now here you see, what is it? 3:30, becoming a woman. 3:30, 31, 3:31. Forty, 41. This is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yan manyate pati moham Yanmayam rishabhayatim stritvam stri sangatah prapto vidha apatya graha pradan. A living entity who, as a result of attachment to woman in his previous life, has been endowed with the form of a woman. This is authoritative statement. Understand? Foolishly looks upon Maya in the form of a husband as the bestower of wealth, progeny, house and other material assets. You understand this very clearly now? Huh? Home sweet home. What? What? Home? Understand? It is so dangerous. If you are going to go thinking like this, it is like climbing a big building and jumping down. Don't think I said this, please. Singapore got a lot of big buildings. You understand? It is like climbing up there and it says here. Hmm? 11:8. 11:8. No, 11:7. Sorry, 11:7. See, give you an example. What's happening here? Evam kutumbi asanta atma dvandvaramaha patatri vat pusnam kutumbam kripanaha sa anubandhu vasidati. In this way, one who is too attached to family life becomes disturbed at heart. Yeah? One who is too attached to family life will definitely become disturbed at what? Like the pigeon, he tries to find pleasure in mundane sex attraction, busily engaged in maintaining his own family. The miserly person is fated to suffer greatly along with all his family members. Is it clear? In other words, if you are very attached to family life, you are only going to have a lot of miseries. Understand? Sufferings. Now not finished. It is not finished. Here you see. Ya prapya manusam lokam mukti dwaram aprafritam grahesu khagavat shaktas tam arudha chutam viduhu. The doors of liberation are open wide to one who has achieved human life. But if a human being simply devotes himself to family life like this foolish bird in the story, then he is considered as one who has climbed to a very high place only to trip and fall down. I am not saying, please. I am saying. You understand? Human life, it says here, very, very rare. It is what would say the passport for you to go back to the spiritual world. But having got this human birth, if you become overly attached to family life, then you are like this foolish bird that is going up to the top of the building only to trip and you trip and you don't and you fly. You trip and you what? Fall. Understand? That's why nobody like to come to our Hare Krishna movement. So many tripping and falling. They don't want to hear this. Yes? This is the point. So exactly this is happening in Puranjan's life. Understand? He had no idea that he has to change his body, and he became overly attached to his wife, and as consequence he fell down and he became a woman in his next life. And the situation is the body. At the time of death, the mind is tormented tremendously, and naturally he will call for somebody who is very dear. Just like Ajamil, he was fortunate, he called for his son. Hey, that's fortune. This is not you and I can plan. It is planned by. Understand? So if you can transfer your consciousness to Krishna somehow or other, then your life is successful. Right? Hopefully you die on the weekend, because only weekend you are thinking of Krishna. If you die on the weekday, I don't know.
Spiritually weekday.
Huh?
Spiritually weekday.
So plan your death, please. Yeah, because your devotional service is only weekend. Yeah? We ask you to come one more day. Oh, Prabhu, can you booking Prabhu? My boss, then whole day you're thinking like the boss, of the boss, correct? Just like this what? This wasp, fearing. Yes? So therefore you have to think carefully. Understand? This is all consciousness. It is already grouped according to what? Love, fear and hate. We have to learn how to change that, to bring to. Then yes, our life is successful. You can think of Krishna 24 hours, you are the most fortunate person. I explained yesterday. If you can just bring Krishna into your heart, even for a moment, yes, that's it, you made it. But if you are going to bring all kind of nonsense in the heart, then it's going to be a different story. You are what you're going to be meditating on. All right. Is it clear? Then you will take birth again as a devoted wife. You understand? For the woman to think of the man, very good. But for the man to think of the woman, that's a fall down. Even if she is a devoted devotee, you must use her to think of Krishna. Understand? You must use everything to go to Krishna. You should not use, she is such a, her name is Radha. When you think of Radha, you think of your wife. Where you go? Understand? But if you think of your Radha and think of Radharani there, then that's another thing. You understand? It is just a simple example. If you think of Radharani and you are thinking of that's like Prabhupada gave one Baba, when you say Radha, he was thinking of his wife, Baba's wife named Radha. Right? No. So we should learn how to transfer our consciousness to Krishna. Then yes, you can have hundreds, as Prabhupada said, then you don't need to leave family. If you are thinking like this, then there is sannyas and what, there is no difference. Understand? See, so it's very dangerous, to just be very attached to your wife, because at the time of death, this is like Puranjan. I mean, you will hear the story tomorrow and all the verses, and not tomorrow, but how he was thinking, she's so nice, she was not taking a bath until I take bath, she was not eating until I eat. All this playing up in his mind. Attachment, and it coming in. You understand? And you think, oh, my wife, I'm going to leave now, who's going to look after her? Huh? Finish. You want to sit that side or you want to sit this side? You want to sit that side or you want to sit this side? Huh? Middle. Huh? Where? Middle path. Think there is no middle here, this side or that side. Understand? I become determined. No, I am not going to sit in any side. I am going back. You understand? That's what we should be, determined. You understand? So don't be so much glamorous with a devoted wife. It's still not 100% safe. Huh? You follow? Better to have no wife. That's the philosophy. You follow? Oh, I have such a devoted wife. Huh? That kind of a poem is very dangerous. Understand?
The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita says that the soul cannot be withered by the wind or moist in the water. So how can the soul be carried by the life air and subtle body, which is still material? How can it carry the soul? And the soul cannot be touched by anything material.
Okay, this is the question. Yeah? Karanam Deviga Netrena Karmana. Where's that? 3:31. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Karmana Deviga Netrena Jantu Deho Papatye Striya Pravista Udaram Pumso Reta Kanashriyaha. So you see this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead say, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman to the particular world of a male semen to assume a particular type of body. So under the supervision of by a higher arrangement. Ordinarily how you cannot do that because it's so subtle. But by the arrangement of that's why here it is to use the word is used here, Karanam. Huh? Yes. Karmana, your activity, Deviga Netrena, by the overseeing power of divine. And that means the soul is always under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Super Soul is always accompanying. So with the power of that it is transferred. Okay? Can be done. Just like what to speak. Balaram was also transferred from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Okay? By Yogamaya she moved. On the instruction of the Lord. Ordinarily you cannot do these things. So how things work? very subtle. That's why the foolish, they cannot see these things. Just now you read, no? The fool, he cannot understand how this. Vimuda na anupashyanti, pashyanti. The soul, how it is moving, how it is going. This is the logistic department of the Lord. It's impossible for us to comprehend. This is just one country, one universe. Can you imagine millions of universes? He is managing it like that is the power of God. Supreme power. Inconceivable. You cannot understand how it works. It's not only he is moving, You see, study the case. Like Narada Muni, we study Narada Muni. He said in his previous millennium, that means the Chakshusa millennium, he was a maidservant, son, yes. Then this millennium he became, but he never say in between he became somebody else. Did he say that? There is no indication. That means from the Chakshusa Manu, when he left his body as the young boy, until he became Narada Muni, where was he? It was in the other Chakshusa Manvantara, 6th Manu. Previous day Manu. So what is he doing? He only said that I remember my previous life. Before that I was Upaharana or something, the Gandharva. I fell down, then I was meditating on the Lord with the help of the devotee. Then I became Narada Muni. But these all are different times period. So where and how was he existing from that time to this time? There's annihilation, I understand. But it's another day of Brahma. Such a... He was born when? Next day, but next day of Brahma is how many years? Night time is dormant. That means he must have gone into the body of... and he waited. Okay, another example. The two Jai and Vijay, correct? Where were they? They had to stay here for 3 lives, correct? There is no indication they went back and came back again in the interim, just like parking car or something. So they were in the body of waiting. You understand? Just like now, all the fallen souls are taken out on the body of the Lord and put in Kali Yuga. All the pious souls are kept there, and when the Yoga changes, they come out. You understand? So this is the, inconceivable arrangement of the... That's why you are fortunate. That's why I say it's now the worst. If the spirit soul has taken the human birth, he should not waste time like this. Because there's no, what do we say, guarantee that tomorrow you're going to come out. What if the Lord lock you up in the body and keep you for until the next life of Brahma? Yeah? No, Prabhu, he said no, next life. So you think again, this is inconceivable. So better to make what? Use of this time wisely. Chant and no more. Finish. Everything is finished. You understand? It's inconceivable.
All the jivas who are falling from the spiritual platform of spiritual planet, so they will go into Lord Vishnu's body and then again manifest as jivas in the material realm, or...
Are you talking about coming from heavenly planets?
No, we all fell down from spiritual planet, so
No, Jai and Vijay, when they fell down, they straight away went to the womb of Diti. It says in the Shastra, when they fell, they were just taking birth in the, they did not go to wait somewhere. But when they died and killed, then they had to wait until the different yuga to take birth. First they took birth as what? Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyak. Then they took as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. I mean that different yuga. And then again they took as Sisupala and Danda, again different time zone. You understand? But coming down, no. But when you fall from heavenly planet, it is explained here. Is it 7:14? Huh? It's explained here in this verse. 7:14 what? Where is that verse? It says from heaven it falls down.
In the 8.3 purport of Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned.
What is there in this 7:14? No, very clear.
There is a verse also. 7.14. More detail. Yeah, 7:15.
7:15, huh?
5.
7,
7:15.
huh?
7:15.
7:15:50.
Yeah, and 51.
Yeah, here. 7:15, correct. Here in this verse, you see how it goes. My dear King Yudhishthira, when oblations of ghee and food grains like barley and sesame are offered in sacrifice, they turn into celestial smoke which carries one to successive higher planet systems like the kingdoms of Dhuma, Ratri, Krishna Paksha, Dakshina and ultimately the moon. This is how you go up. Yeah? Understand? Then, however, performers of sacrifice descend again to earth to become herbs, creepers, vegetables and food grain. They are eaten by different living entities and turn to semen, which is injected to female bodies. Thus one takes birth again and again. This is how you come down from heaven. You understand? Are you following? Do you know how you come from the hell up? Huh?
Even how they descend also, it is mentioned in the 8th chapter 3rd verse, right?
What's that?
8.3 purport, Bhagavad Gita.
Descends in the form of rain, then takes on the form of grains, and the grains are eaten by man and transformed into semen, which impregnates the woman, and thus the living entity once again attains human form to perform sacrifice. So repeat the same cycle. So that goes again, same thing. So when you fall down, when you go to hell and you come up, you start again from the bottom. Having gone through all the miserable hellish conditions and having passed in a regular order through the lowest forms of animal life, either to human birth, and having thus been purged of his sin, one is reborn again as human being on this earth. That means you come below, you start from the lowest form again, and then you climb up, and finally you come back to the, so hellish this way, heaven that way. So which way you want, it's your choice.
Soul is also subtle, right?
Eh?
Soul is also subtle, right? Soul is also subtle.
Soul. The soul is?
Subtle.
Yes.
And mind, ego, intelligence also subtle, right?
Yes.
Like them, mind, those also will not get pain.
Today's verse are you reading or not? In today's verse, the purport, the subtle body is also greatly pained. Did you read the go back to that verse, today's verse, and see the purport? Go 3:28:13, and you read the bottom line. The soul is, similarly the subtle body is greatly pained. So how you cannot get pain? It is there written. Look.
Actually, you showed the other verse also about pain, false ego. I think 11:28.
11.
28.
But today's purport is already there.
Yeah.
Lamentation, elation, fear, anger, greed, confusion, hankering, as well as birth and death, the experience of the false ego and not of the pure soul. Understand? The subtle body also experiences pain. It's not that when the ghosts have if the ghosts have no pain, why there is suffering? Why they are called suffering? How they suffer? If there is no pain, they suffer? Tell me. Pain. Understand? That's why they come and possess people and do so many things. Material world is full of misery from up to down. Even the demigods also got miseries. Don't speak about the subtle body. Ghosts are considered. Look at this verse. 5 what? 5:5? Huh? Huh? 21?
Miseries of heaven. This one is hierarchy. Miseries of heaven are 11:9.
See, superior to animals are human beings, and superior to humans are ghosts, because they have no material bodies. Even though they are superior, but still there is pain. What is that verse? Brahma? Brahma Bhuvana Loka Puna. No. Dukhalayam Asaswatam. Huh? So, from top to bottom are complete places of. The ghost where? They are somewhere else? Where this ghost? Huh? They are inside. Also pain. Understand? In fact, it is said that they suffer more miserably. Understand? It's not that you hang around your subtle body, you have no pain. What? No. Although you don't have the body, but the pain is there. It is inflicted on you because you are carrying your mind. You are carrying your. You see, now your body is cut here, but the pain is felt where? With your mind, yes, and your senses, yes. Subtle. Yes? Anything else? We're going to skip the breakfast and have lunch.
I think Radhika Kishore asked question. Please explain honorable senses. May I ask Prabhu, what can we say about the Pope endorsing same-sex union and at the same time perpetuating discrimination against homosexuality among the priesthood? Being a person who promotes religiosity among people, why can't we make a stand?
What is the question?
No, yes. The Pope is endorsing same-sex marriage and union and at the same time perpetuating discrimination against homosexuality among the priesthood.
He is confused.
Another question is by
He is confused. You cannot enjoy the senses indiscriminately. That is the philosophy. Even licit sex is also restricted to only for procreation. What to speak about any other kind of sex life? I don't know this terminology, heterosex, what sex. So, I am confused. How the sex is only one sex, to have children, but the heterosex, unisex, I don't know what sex. I don't know what it is. I think you have to have a dictionary to decipher this. One called a male or female, that's all. But now the male, female, there's so many, it goes a few lines. I said, wow.
even marital status also few lines.
Yeah. Single, divorced, widowed, just divorced, I don't know. Living in. Living in contract, living without contract.
Complicated relationship.
Huh?
Complicated relationship.
Complicated relationship. Wow.
There is one more question by Vishnu Teja. Should aspiring preachers learn several languages like Bengali, Spanish, Korean and Farsi, since Prabhupada Ananda spread out all over the world and it is not known where somebody might get posted.
Anyway, first learn your language. Learn your language. What? Some number is coming here from your phone. 008. Who is this? Somebody is answering. I don't have a phone on my. How do you do this?
One more, what is your view on child adoption?
Missed call from my iPhone. Or somebody is calling me there.
The question is, what's your view on child adoption?
What's my view on what?
Child adoption.
Child adoption. Yeah, you can adopt child. Nobody say no.
And another question is, so Narad Muni is also a designation like Brahma. Is it a designation post or is it a...
Yes. Narada Muni, his destination post is Deva Rishi. So he is a Rishi among the Devas.
That is his designation.
Yes.
Whereas
Brahma is not his post. Brahma is the post.
Devarishi is a post.
Deva Rishi is the post. But Narada is the person who is occupying that. Brahma also has a name. So his name is the four-headed Brahma. So Brahmas their name is given according to the. That's why Krishna asked the gatekeeper, which Brahma? You go tell him, I'm the four-headed Brahma. Brahma thought he was four-headed, he was big time. Krishna smiled and calls million-head Brahma. When he saw that, okay, I understood. Understand? It's Krishna, you understand? You got what? Four head, and he said, you are the smallest. And he told him that, you are the smallest. Understand? I'm the four-headed Brahma. They would tell Krishna, you are the smallest. Understand? And we are in the smallest universe. And in the smallest country. And in the small... And we are thinking we are big time. Just see. Nonsense. Alright. Finish? Anything else? So, okay, I think I explained my stand very clearly. Yes?
That's why Brahma is praying that they can do that. Jnanam Deva Jnanam. People may claim that they know it.
There's a class on that, All the verses to show that you cannot understand Krishna. I think I did one time on one Sunday program. But it is a verse, all the verses, how you cannot know God. That's not possible. But if we want to tell you, then that's another thing. Okay, I think we stop here then. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada.